and welcome to the Fork in the Road podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Guzmán Galloway, and on this season 2, we are talking to experts who help us move past this fork in the road and into the next phase of our journey. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is on the minds of every mother across the land, if you will. We are all talking about the same exact thing: balance. Balance, balance, balance. How do we create balance in our lives? How do we balance between our work lives and our home lives? How do we balance between motherhood, which is really high on our list of priorities, with a career that hopefully is fueling us mentally and emotionally? And how do we balance that with a personal life, which is a really important part of self-care? What I have personally felt and have heard from others is that one of these is constantly pulling you away from the other. Or in the case of a personal life or even your marriage, you might just be ignoring it altogether. More often than not, I hear work is what is taking over life. Work is what's pulling me away from the rest of my life and making me feel out of balance. And this really is an important question. It's an existential question for women at work, and it's at the core of our happiness. I personally know it is, because these parts of us really make up the whole of us. And when we are living each part to its optimal level, they really help us to feel our full selves. And that's a space we really want to be. We strive to be. When we imagine things in this perfect balance, quote unquote balance, we can imagine the fullness of a really great life, all of these parts exactly where they should be. But it's interesting that if we flip the scenario and we imagine, or possibly we live with one or more of those parts operating below optimal, below what we have imagined as ideal, we say that we are out of balance. But what we really mean when we say that is that we are failing, because we take ownership for that lack of balance. We take ownership of the failure and we internalize that. I'm failing at balancing my life. I am failing at motherhood. I am failing in my career. I am failing as a wife or a spouse or a partner. I am failing as a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm failing as a PTA member. I'm failing as a volunteer. I'm failing at cleaning my home, at doing laundry. I'm even failing at putting lotion on my face every night, or buying us a pillowcase, or taking biotin supplements. I mean, whatever it is, we ultimately find a way to take ownership over that failure. And when we say we're seeking balance, what I think we really mean is that we want to stop feeling like we're failing, like we can't do it all. And man, I got to tell you how much I hate that phrase. I hate the idea of doing it all and us feeling like, by consequence, we can't do it all. Doing it all implies that anyone, any human can do it all. But what is that anyway? What is all? Usually when we are talking about doing it all in traditional social conversation, we really mean being able to have a career and be successful at motherhood. And I'm going to call BS on that, because that math just does not add up to me. You're saying that we can't have a career and be a good mother at the same time? It just literally makes no sense. And there are prominent women out there saying that we can't have it all, that you have to give up on something if you want to be excellent at either one. Of course, anyone who wants to do both of those things can do both of those things. But you know what you can't do? You can't be an accountant and a mother and also a trapeze artist, because when you were young, that was your dream, and also be a chef because you love to cook, and also own the annual teacher banquet with the PTA, and also spend 2 hours each Saturday cleaning your house, and also do the laundry in the house twice a week, and also pack cute little Pinterest lunches, and also work out with a trainer, and shop for the latest fashion trends, and also sleep 9 hours a night. No, you cannot do it all. No matter who you are or how many kids you have, It's a ridiculous concept. No one does it all. No one. We often point to men as the counterpoint to doing it all. We can't, but they can do it all. But can they? Can they really? They aren't doing it all. Those men you're pointing to are doing exactly what they want to do, but they're not doing it all. And honestly, many are not even happy with the choices they've made in the end. When they've reached the end of their careers, many realize they would have done it differently for whatever they gave up, whether that was family life or otherwise. So don't measure yourself against that. But you know what you can do? You can do what makes you happy. We can do what makes us happy. That's what we can do. That's what we can all do, period. And that does mean making some choices, because you might not love being an accountant, but you may also not want to have to travel all the time to be that trapeze artist and miss out on all of your family comings and goings. We make choices as adults, not as women or as mothers, but as adults. We all make choices about how we spend our time, how we use our gifts, and how we feed our souls. Men have made these choices too, willingly or not. Unfortunately for them, they have also made those choices, and many have chose careers over other things they might have, could have, you might say should have done. And we make choices too. So I would like to challenge you. I want to challenge you to rethink what it is that's really happening. I'm desperately looking for you, for all of us, to have a deep paradigm shift here, to reconsider what is really happening when you say you're looking for balance, and instead recognize the power you do or don't have in that matter. I would bet that in many cases, you've been giving someone else the power to choose. Power to choose how you are spending your time, power to choose what is prioritized and when, power to choose how they demand of your time. And yes, we're talking about bosses and companies, but also your spouses, your partners, your children, your friends, and more. Saying that your life is out of balance, which is to say you are failing at something, reconfirms their power. Accepting what is offered to you without taking an active role in the decision-making is reaffirming their power. Not evaluating how these choices fit for you, how this works or not for you, and making a decision for yourself is solidifying their power. But the reality is you can choose. You are in control. You are the decider. I know what you're going to say. You feel like you are not in control. You can't change your job hours or the projects you get assigned. You can't make your 3-year-olds potty train faster. You can't force yourself to have a date night when you're just exhausted. I get it. I have been there. And to be honest, I'm often there. Unfortunately, I'm not great about taking care of myself. I don't work out as often as I should. I recently started taking vitamins, but it took me a while. Sometimes I delay booking doctor's appointments, and because I talk on the phone or video with so many friends and family, and my time away from work is very much focused around my kids, I forget sometimes that I also need the personal connection with the people outside of my home that also fuel me. So I don't do those get together with my friends as often as I should. It happens, and it's hard to change that behavior. It's hard for me to say, okay, I'm not going to go to my daughter's band event or basketball game so that I can go to dinner with my friends. That is hard. But we can do hard things. And more than that, for me, I am actively making choices about what is happening in my life. I am seeing what's competing for my time, and I'm deciding I am doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. Do I wish I could do all of those? Sure, yes. But there's literally not enough time in the day. There is only one of me. That is not my failure. Of all the people out there that I interact with, they plan these dates and events and moments without asking me. That's not my failure. It's not mine to own. It's mine to work around. I'm not saying I never have to choose between things I love and things I have to do. Sometimes I do have to stay at my computer and work late. Sometimes I do have to miss a school event or a doctor's appointment. Sometimes I miss my husband because even though we're here in this house almost 24/7 together, it's been a while since we just sat together and talked. And yes, sometimes I see people on TV, maybe often, or social media hanging out as friends. And I think, man, I really miss that. I really miss being out at a bar with some people at happy hour. But overall, I'm at peace with my choices. I have decided to live my life the way I do. No one is forcing me to do this. And what I mean by that is that I'm evaluating what's happened, who needs time from me, and I'm deciding. Sometimes I have to do things because I have clients and I need to deliver the work. There's no way around that. But I chose this career and I love what I do and I want to do great work. So I need to figure out where to fit that into my day. And yes, I want to be there for as much as possible when it comes to my kids, but there are some things I'm okay missing. Honestly, it's hard for me to be at basketball games. It's just not my jam. And I've made peace with that. So I try to be there when I can for those games, but if I skip some, if I miss some, I'm at peace with that. Because when my kids do see me, I'm 100% in the moment where I am. That's the value and the golden rainbow that's attached to making my own choices. I can be there 100% in the moment because I'm not concerned about what I gave up. I made those choices. I'm at peace with that. And all around, I'm happier for it. I will admit to you that a part of my sense of control over my time is due to the fact that I'm a consultant. And as a consultant, I am not working on anyone else's schedule. So yes, that does give me some control. But what I have realized is that I could have had this control much sooner. The truth is actually that I always had the power to take this control, which is also true for you, or at least it should be. If you are finding that your career or your job doesn't allow you to have the control that you deserve, it might be time to reconsider that job. I don't mean that they allow you to make whatever schedule you want. I mean that you can be at peace with the choices you're making. Because if you love this job and it demands that you work until 7 p.m. every night and therefore miss dinner with your kids, then you have to make peace with that as a choice you're making and find other ways to make peace with how you relate to your kids and when you spend time with them. And if you can't make peace with that, then you need to reconsider the job. Whatever job you're in, whatever your career, do it because you want to do it, not because you have to. That's the first step to taking control over your life and your happiness. And then accept whatever choices you are making. You are making them. You are juggling a full life, and that's a great thing. If you remove the sense of failure and loss and replace it with choice and control, you'll never talk about balance again. Because whatever choices you made today, this week, this month, they'll be yours. And that's the balance that you need. I hope this helps.